Hi there, my name is Derek Finken. I'm a health marketer here at Western Marketing. Today we're going to be going over prescription drug plans real briefly. I'll touch on the main points here and there, and we'll jump right in real quick, and we'll start with some requirements to enroll in these prescription drug plans. Your client must be enrolled in Medicare Part A and or Part B to get enrolled in one of these plans. You also must live in the service area of the plan you are choosing. These plans do go by counties, so you have to make sure that the plan your client would like to enroll in is available in the county that they are living in at that time. So that's how that works. Some different enrollment periods. So Part D does have different election periods. One of the most common ones you will see is the initial enrollment period. This is when folks are new to Medicare. They will have a 7-month window to where they can enroll in these plans. That window is 3 months prior to their 65th birth month, their 65th birth month, and 3 months after their 65th birth month. So they'll have a nice gap there to where they can enroll in these plans right when they're new to Medicare. The next one is the annual election period. This will come around each year between October 15th and December 7th. This is when you will shop your current client's plans because the plans do change each and every year. So you will try to find the best fit for them going into the following January 1st. The open enrollment period runs from January 1 through March 31. This would be a case where you have Medicare Advantage clients that would like to return to original Medicare, and at that point they can go on to a standalone prescription drug plan again. Special enrollment periods, there is a lot of these out there. I won't touch on them all today in this video, but I will hit a few. The most common one you'll see is leaving employer coverage. That's a special enrollment period to where they will be able to jump onto one of these prescription drug plans. Another one is if they would ever move from a state to a different state or a different city. They will have a chance to find the best plan that fits their needs in the new area, and so on and so forth. There's a ton of these. If you have any questions on a certain situation or circumstance, please reach out to us and we'll be able to fill you in and tell you what SEP that they fit into. So next is what Medicare Part D drug plans cover. All plans must cover a wide range of drugs that people take. This is called a formulary. Each and every plan has their own formulary, so not all the same drugs will be covered on each formulary. So you'll want to make sure when you're running these drug plans and the quotes for these folks that the plans that you choose for them, their medications are covered on. These formularies include at least 2 drugs in the most commonly prescribed categories and classes. So if your client went on a new drug in the middle of the year that the doctor recommended and it wasn't covered on their current plan, there should be a drug similar to it that they might be able to switch over to that will be covered by their current plan. And come the annual enrollment period at the end of the year, you might be able to shop around and get them onto a new plan that covers the drug that they'd like to be on the best. So all these formularies are different. Make sure your folks are covered. That way they don't have large out-of-pocket costs when they go to the pharmacy and have any unexpected costs. Speaking of costs, different prescription drug tiers. These will differ between plans, but this is a very generic one that you'll see a lot with the different plans out there this year. Tier 1 is preferred generic drugs. These are very cheap medications for copays. Some plans will even be $0 copays, depending on the pharmacy and what plan you're on. But next one is Tier 2 generic drugs, still pretty low copay, maybe a few dollars up to, tens or 20s of dollars, but not bad at all. Tier 3 and 4 are the brand name drugs. This part gets a little more pricey out of your pocket, but they will be shared costs with the plan, so you'll just have to see what exactly they'll be paying before you put them into the plan. Tier 5 is the specialty drugs. Hopefully you won't run into this too often, but if you do, this is where your clients will be out of pocket quite a bit. These are specialty drugs like cancer drugs and etc. So hopefully you don't come across that, but you very well could. Different costs for Medicare drug coverage. There will be a monthly premium on these plans. Monthly premiums could go as low as about $7 a month this year. And if your client's on a certain plan, it could go up to the hundreds of dollars. I know there's a couple plans for about 100 and 102 this year. You might not run into that very often. I know I haven't, but it is out there. Next is the yearly deductible. Most of the plans this year is $445 deductible. Not all plans have a deductible, and not all are $445, but that is the one you'll run to most. Your clients will need to pay $445 out of pocket before the plan will kick in on most of these plans. The copayments. Copayments is next. This is when your clients are actually at the pharmacy picking up their medications. There will be copayment on most drugs. I know we touched on the Tier 1 preferred generics. They might not have a copay there, which is great. But on the Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 4, and Tier 5, they will have something out of pocket the majority of the time to pay for these medications. So Costs and the coverage gap. Coverage gap is when you and your plan have both reached the amount of $4,130 combined. So your plan and you have reached that number. That is when you are officially in the coverage gap. At that point, you will only be responsible for 25% of your medication costs. The government and your prescription drug plan will pick up the other 75%. So you'll be looking at that for 25% while you're in the coverage gap. If you continue to pay a bunch of money and you reach catastrophic coverage, which is when you are out of pocket $6,550, that's when the government again jumps in and the plan will pay 95% of your medication costs. You're on the hook for about $5% or less, depending on the medications and where you're at there. So last thing I want to touch on the cost for Medicare drug coverage is the late enrollment period. Medicare and the government do require you to be in one of these plans when you can. If you do not go into a Medicare prescription drug coverage and you just say, maybe I'm on no medications, don't want to pay the premium, blah, 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 they will penalize you in the future when you do need to go onto one. So in this case, folks that are on no medications or don't want one of these plans, what we do or what folks do is put them in a low premium plan just to make sure they have coverage, and these can be switched all year at the end of the year during annual enrollment period. So if they do go on medications, we can find the best plan for them in the future. So keep that late enrollment period in mind and make sure your clients are covered. That was the real quick version of this. I'm sure you have lots of different questions, and if you do, please feel free to reach out to me. You can always shoot me an email there. You'll see it on the screen, or give us a call at 800-852-7152. I really appreciate you tuning in, and if you need anything, give us a holler. Otherwise, have a great day, and we'll talk soon.